Why don't we tell a tale of
Two cities.
no, two Warcrafts, as in the time that we watched
God.
Warcraft 2 times in a row in theaters.
Well, the story begins like all good stories do, with the Big Bang.
All right, let's fast forward a little bit.
Okay. Dinosaurs walk the earth.
Oh, a little bit. How about we decided to go see Warcraft once.
Okay, that was you. I looked at your Snapchat story and okay, well first we were like we should go see Warcraft.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was a little bit lukewarm about it.
I was lukewarm about it too.
But you seemed very excited because before I got over to your house, I
I
looked
had
at your
Snapchatted
Snapchat story and it was just it was like 4 different Snapchats of you just blathering on about Tim Duncan and Warcraft.
I said a World of Warm Cat.
It kept changing every
Warmcraft.
Snapchat. You'd say World of Warm Cat. Tim Duncan's a triple threat. He's got Moon Basketball and Duncan.
Dunkin' Donuts, probably, I imagine.
So anyway, then we went to see it one time, and our plan was
And
to
we
our
walked
plan was to
out.
watch it. Well, no, our plan was to watch it and then come out and get food and then go in and see Now You See Me
Now
Too.
You See Me Too.
Sneak it at the old double header. And so we
Double
walked.
header of mediocrity.
You were.
Keep in mind these, like, the Regal Majestic is like $14 at least for like matinees.
Yeah. Well, so then it was so bad that we both decided to walk out.
Yeah.
And then we were like, should we see another movie? And we decided no, and we just left
Yeah.
for some reason.
No. We went into X-Men 2, and then I was so drained from
X-Men
We're-
Apocalypse, you mean?
yeah, I don't know, I said X-Men 2. But I was so drained from watching that
Oh, right,
small
right.
amount of Warcraft that we
Yeah,
decided
you looked
not.
dead.
I looked dead. That being said, we were like, why don't we try it again?
I want
The next
to
day.
blame you for this whole thing because you're gonna blame me for the next one. So let me blame you for this.
Yeah,
one.
but that doesn't mean that it's my fault just because you want to
no,
blame me.
but then what happened was the next day we were both just hanging out and you were like, hey, I think it would be kind of fun. I was really tired yesterday, but I think it'd be kind of fun to watch Warcraft and just make fun of it. I was like, all right,
I
we
feel
could
like
try
we
to watch
both
it all the
came
way
up with
through.
this at the same time.
I
'cause
don't know.
you keep
It
on
felt
saying,
like you were. I mean, I was a part of it. Like it wouldn't have happened without me agreeing. But I felt like
without
you were
us
egging
coming
me
up
on.
with it at the same time. I imagine
we
we were both
no.
sitting silently for half an hour,
then
and
we
then we
said
said
it.
we
We
should watch
World of
Warcraft
Warcraft
again.
Anyway,
Thank you.
whoever's fault it was, kills. We ended up going to the theater, ready to make fun of it, and it started off with some good-hearted jokes, and then we both just kind of got quiet, and we watched the whole thing all the way through, and lost several IQ points,
In several years of our lives.
and that's the story of how we watched World of Warcraft 2 days in a row, back to back in theaters.
What do you think you took from World of Warcraft?
Nothing.
I
I learned nothing.
There was a really awkward mix of CGI, live action, and then sort of just weird cosplay.
There was just so much wrong with it. I don't even want to think about it. One thing was from the minute it started, I knew it was going to be awful because it was like this nonsensical monologue that like how like some good movies start off with a nonsensical monologue and then by the end of the movie you understand what they were talking about.
Yeah.
This one had that, but it didn't pay off in any way. It was just like, since as long as I can remember, man has been very Warcraft.
We thought about the wars.
We thought about Warcraft and Orcs Wars, but now it's Orcs War 2.
What's important isn't good storytelling. It's just that you take the skeleton of another fantasy movie and you try very hard.
And yeah, and I mean, I don't understand why the main lady was painted green and her other orcs were CG. Like that did not play very well
it was
at all.
because she was half human, but it just
It still didn't play well.
Why
Like
didn't
it was
there
very
was
obvious.
like no CGI in her at all, so
Yeah.
she just looked like a
Exactly,
cosplayer.
exactly. Like it was very apparent
was-
when they were next to each other.
And it seemed
Oh,
like
and
the
I
frame
mean-
rate for the CGI characters was slightly different. So they were like,
I don't know about frame rate these days.
I don't
People
know.
are
It
getting
seemed
too
like
wild
a
with
fever dream.
But another thing was that the acting, I mean, the writing was bad, but the acting was so god awful. Like, I can't believe those are professional actors that they hired. It was just people like thinking that they're very badass fantasy characters, like constantly with their heads turned to the side.
That was Tim's only prompt. He was like, "Guys, imagine if you will that you're badass," and they were like, oh, "Okay."
And they all had they're all standing kind of way too stiffly with their heads turned dramatically
like,
to the side.
Oh, where did you get
What
this?
did you believe to be
the veal of Death Roar?
They were
Where did you
talking
get
like
this?
humans don't talk. Like they were talking how like not even real people, but how nerds that like Warcraft in a TV show talk to each other.
Like it was like a Big Bang Theory where they're pretending to be
exactly
Warcraft,
and that's
characters.
how they actually talk to each other.
And then like except there was less bazinga. There was
There was
slightly
a
less.
few
There was a
bazinga.
lot of bazinga.
They kept saying
They kept on saying
not as much.
Baspingo.
They said, "Hi, I'm
Zimbabwe.
Baspingo." Did
Hello.
you remember that the main? Oh, another thing is, I didn't know any of their names. The sign of a good film is when there's a lot of characters and you don't know any of their names.
Darkroth the Core, Korgoth the
Dark.
Goth,
Goth man, the
the
sloth.
Slav man, the Polak.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is when you try to shove a Lord of the Rings size cast of characters into one half-baked movie, at least have me know their names.
Yeah,
You know, like nobody ever. It's like they're expecting us to follow the plot too closely, considering how unengaging it was. But anyway, I digress. Why are we talking about this now? This movie came out so long ago.
Because we have to tell.
No
we
one
have
cares
to. We
about
have
it.
to tell the tale of two Warcrafts.
All right, that's the end of that tale. But there is
there's
another movie
tale,
that came out more recently.
And this time it may have been my fault. The first time it may have been my fault, probably not.
But you
but
didn't
this
see it
time
with
it was
me the first time.
definitely. Well, well.
Oh,
Look,
you're talking about Suicide Squad.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. No. But the first time the Warcraft thing may.
Yeah,
have,
that was your fault. Yeah.
That may have been your
It
fault.
was
It
probably-
may have been.
Your fault, mostly.
So we watched anyway. So the first time
I just want to start off this story by saying, in this earth, humans have decisions, and our decisions are, at the end of the day, when other people tell you what to do,
so
and
we
when
watched.
hold on.
Nico made me watch Suicide Squad twice.
No!
He made me watch it twice.
That's not at all.
Okay,
You're simplifying it way too much. The first time you saw it with your dad, and I had nothing to do with that.
That's because I didn't know.
Well,
it was like
did you-
opening night or some shit, and we went to see it, and it was bad.
That was not how is that my fault? It's
Well,
not.
how is it? I told you it was bad, and you were like, you know what? Why don't we see it again anyway?
I pitched it. I was
Why don't
very
we see it
cool.
again
I was
anyway?
like, hey man, I want to see it because I'm a fan of DC, and you and
No,
I like
you-
watching bad movies and making fun of them together. And I was like, let's go watch it. And you're like, you smiled. You smiled
wanna
and
know
raised
what
your
happened?
eyebrows.
You know what?
Wait, let me
legit
finish. Let me
happened
finish.
in front of my
No,
front of
okay.
my family.
No,
this is what happened.
Stop.
I was
this
like,
wasn't a Quentin Tarantino film where I murdered the Jews in front of your children.
that's a strange thing that you just said.
It's
and
just in
not,
front of my family. That's the first
that's
thing
it.
I think
That's
of.
all. That's the only.
But okay, you
connection.
smiled and raised your eyebrows like, are you sure we should do this? And it was
And-
like you were amused by the very thought of it.
I know,
said,
and you know, you
so
said,
already,
I was like,
it's not like
you
you're
said,
reluctant and I'm
I
dragging
don't want
you
to do it
along.
alone. That's what you said. I don't want to.
I
I
also-
was like, it's not a good movie, and you're like, but I don't want to see it alone. I
Yeah,
was
but
like,
it
how about
wasn't
you
that
just
sad.
not
I was
see it
like,
at all?
I don't want to see it alone. But it sounded like you were amused by the proposition. I didn't drag you along. It wasn't like you were very reluctant. It was.
But you did
We thought it was a
apologize
good
halfway
idea.
through the movie to me.
I did. That
You
doesn't
did.
mean that I was to blame for the experience. Okay, listen, I didn't make the film. All right, Tim Duncan did.
Gordroth of the Fourth made it. The Legend of Gorgoth.
Gorgoth the Fourth.
He made it. The Warcraft.
Suicide Squad. Why am I clipping so much?
I don't know.
I'm like pretty. I'm a
For one
reasonable
thing,
distance
your
for it.
mouth is around the microphone's tip.
I don't know. Anyway,
I
yeah,
mean,
Suicide
they
Squad
tell me
was
to
nightmarish.
to like turn it up to the triangle, but maybe not.
The
Maybe
funny
not.
thing about Suicide Squad though is Warcraft. Everyone agrees was bad. Suicide Squad has its fans, which is absurd.
I imagine that Warcraft has its fans, but even then that makes more sense because if you're a Warcraft nerd, you probably at least got some semblance of
Yeah.
what was going on.
Like it's just like
One of its main flaws was
like-
that it was just too dense and hard to
yeah.
understand.
But
Aside
if you're a
from just
Warcraft fan, then you probably understood it a little bit.
if you're like a DC fan, Good God.
I am a DC
You are,
fan.
I know.
But I'm also a fan of good movies. See, I think the people that liked it weren't necessarily DC fans. I think it's a very specific group of edgy
boings.
people who don't know what makes a good movie, but know that edginess makes them happy.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like when I went to see it the first time, there were probably just some people in the audience who were just straight up like, what is this? No matter who they were.
Yeah. No, I mean, a lot of people disliked it, but there's also it has like a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes, but a 65% audience rating. So the audience members liked it a lot more than critics did.
Yeah.
And I think that's because there's like
for
a
some
militant
reason they liked
sect.
it more than Batman versus Superman, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it has a lot to do with. I mean, I'm still piecing together the puzzle, but it has to do
It's a
with
conspiracy,
It has to do with
I think.
edginess, with man-childness. It has to do with the way that the trailers were,
Yeah.
and how that translated into their expectations of the film.
It has to do with Harley Quinn was a real hubba hubba. Ooh.
It has to do with people
Hello.
wearing Harley Quinn costumes over Halloween. There's a bunch of pieces of the puzzle, and I haven't put them together yet, but I know that they're there.
You could see people in the audience, they were examining Harley Quinn's costume and drawing it. It was like, you know when you see people drawing paintings at a museum? They were they were at the Suicide Squad premiere drawing Harley Quinn so they knew what to wear for Halloween.
Yeah,
Who would have thought?
I would have thought.
When I went to see it with my dad, everyone but us had notebooks out.
They were taking notes. It's like a bunch of a theater full of filmmakers and cosplayers.
Good
That
night.
was I guess that was a segment on the podcast that we call stories about when we went to see movies.
Story, the true stories, a tale of two movies, neither of them good.
Yeah. Well, let's that isn't I don't know what that was, but let's move on to our next segment on the podcast.
Good grief! Did you just have a stroke in between?
When in this lifetime,
in this life,
humans
when I
have decisions,
when I look at
and many decisions are when
made.
other people tell you what to do. At the end of the day, when you go home, you have to do what you have to do. This is my opening monologue to Warcraft 2 script that I'm working on.
Hey guys,
It's
this
got a
movie's
lot of
about
themes.
Harambe,
It's got
and I
a
want to talk.
lot of
I want to
themes.
talk. You know
No,
what I wanna
you
talk
know
about?
what another
You know what?
big piece of the Suicide Squad puzzle is before we move on is like video game-ness. It reminded me a lot of a video game. Just
Yeah.
the appeal of a video game where like plot doesn't matter and,
And when the
it's
title
a world
came up,
without
and
morals.
it was just like this goofy CGI bullet casings,
Yeah.
just like ding ding ding.
yeah.
And also 21 Pilots. I feel like they were a big factor.
Yeah,
I think, did
no,
they
just
write,
that
did they
type
write
of
it?
soundtrack. That
I think,
type of
I think they wrote the script.
Yeah, I agree.
It was a 21 Pilots music video, oddly enough.
21 from their new album 21 Century Breakdown.
21.
Because I had a breakdown when I watched their goddamn movie.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
I want to talk about this cool movie coming out. It's called Assassin's Creed Reevaluation.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
is that what it's called?
You know, it's about when Nike Fastbender, the last Airbender, has to reevaluate his whole life after assassinating Creed. Rest in peace, Scott Stapp. I just want to say I'm pretty excited for it.
I'm pretty excited.
I'm pretty excited for it.
I hear he goes into the Animatrix.
Yeah,
and he
discovers
does a side flip.
he discovers the power of anime.
Do you feel like it's gonna be good?
No.
Yeah. Video game movies are #cursed.
Hashtag.
It's funny because
cursed.
all you have to do to make a good video game movie is make a good movie.
Yeah.
But apparently that can't be done.
Like, I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of video game movies because I don't play a lot of video games. But based on the ones that you've seen, what would you say are the main flaws if you had to like?
I mean, it's just like flaws with bad movies, just like bad story structure, bad character development. They're usually trying to do something that they shouldn't be trying to do that like
They're trying to like
preoccupies them.
make the gameplay, make it look a little bit like gameplay.
I don't. It's not necessarily that. It's kind of like a different thing depending on the movie. But they're always going for something that's not what their priority should be. I feel like.
Oh, do they have a lot of scenes where they're like, hey man, this isn't a video game, and then they turn to the camera
And they kiss the lens of the camera.
I remember in Warcraft, every character
Kissed the camera. It was hot. Dude, my favorite part about Warcraft was interracial getting it on, baby.
Oh, you mean when the orc and the human straight up, you saw the
Boned.
penetration
Yeah.
on screen.
Full penetration.
Full penetration.
They had a shot from inside of the vagina of the penis going in.
It was called
And
Enter the Craft. Gaspar
World of Warm Crack. Because it was a warm crack.
Gaspar No came on screen and he was like,
Except the inside of the vagina was green instead of red. You didn't let me finish. Okay, I'm done. It was great.
I finished right now.
Me too, dude. Nice. Welcome to Getting Off.
Welcome to Talking Tang.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Welcome
Orcs,
to
dude.
Slash and Gash with Nick and Hansen.